So if you're tuning in now, we're just setting up. We are live. Just checking it's all going out in the right places.
Yep, all good. We're on LinkedIn now.
YouTube, we're on YouTube. So we'll give it another minute or so for people to join.
So this is this week's podcast.
Yeah, we're going to call this a podcast as well. So if I'm flickery, it's because I'm literally sitting in the middle of nowhere in my van conversion on the border of Lithuania and Poland on a Starlink. And I would have thought the Starlink would be doing a better job, to be honest. But
It's pretty good.
it says it's faster than the Wi-Fi I've got at home, but it's still a bit slow.
I'm on Starlink in Portugal and
You're on
Lisbon.
Starlink as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it's here. It's on here. Right. Let's have a look. So if you want to chat or comment, it depends where you're watching this, right? If you've got the link to our website, then you can't comment there actually. If you want to comment so we can see it, either to respond to now or in the future, you go to YouTube or probably LinkedIn and you can just comment then and we'll see the comments as well.
Exactly, because like we've got quite a lot to cover today, and we're quite excited because I think when we find in different conversations with different people from different sectors, once they start to understand the real power in terms of like some of these concrete elements that we're going to cover, they get quite excited, isn't it, Piers?
Yeah, this is so we've been working on this now for 12 months, and I think Alex done a huge amount of work with various clients and working out how. No, we had our views on how you implement AI, but obviously talking to clients is how we really learn. And what we've done really is sort of capture all of that learning, those insights in this new white paper, and that's what we're going to go through today. So I think Alex, we can just crack on actually.
Yep,
So
let's do that.
yeah, so we're going to do this as part of the podcast. So this is the AI Assisted Organization podcast. Welcome. Special edition this week. It's how to implement AI in your organization webinar. So it's easier to watch this if you want to watch on YouTube, or you'll be able to find on LinkedIn. There are a few slides we're going through, but we will try and make it sort of work in audio form as well. So over to you, Alok.
Yeah, so what we want to cover is basically like kind of like 5 sections essentially. So we're going to talk about why now, why is now the important time to act. We'll then give you the AI transformation framework. So you've actually got a framework that you can approach within your own business when you're planning your AI strategy. And then also we'll go through the AI operating system where you'll start to understand the bits that are missing in your business. And essentially, it's about having that augmented team, and we'll talk about that. And then the other thing is the creating of an AI advantage, because right now, the companies that seize this and are able to like come up with something, and we'll show you some different options you can choose, they're going to have an advantage over the next 18 months to 24 months, isn't it, Piers?
Yeah, and this is something where this is the journey. Okay, this is not something we don't think you can wait too long, because the world's changing very quickly. But the key here is just to start thinking about this and start your journey of building an AI assisted business or developing your AI OS, so that when things really do start to move, you're sort of well positioned, because catching up is going to be difficult.
Exactly. It's like surfing. You want to get ahead of the wave, right? So that when the wave kicks in, you can benefit from all of that with all the momentum. So, if you follow us, then you know a little bit about us, and we'll skip this bit and kind of go into a bit more detail about what we're going to be covering. So this today is for entrepreneurs, traditional business owners, and non-tech business owners and business leaders, and even board members, right? Because you have to understand this, Piers, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we do what we call boardroom briefings as well. We're a training academy, and the first thing in AI really is understanding it. So understanding what it is, how it works, its capabilities, and therefore you can start to opportunity spot in your business as a team, as a collective, as to what you should be automating. What we're really talking about here is automation. Automation now, rather than just logic, is using intelligence.
Exactly. So this is the white paper, right? So if you want to get your copy of it, go to our resource center or use this QR code. There's a huge amount of info in this, and the point is it's almost like a kind of workbook. We're going to be going through the big ideas, but you should get a copy of this as well, so that you can then go through that in detail with your own team, and also have your own notes and everything like that from there, basically. So let's get into why now. So
Do you want me to go for this one? So
yeah,
this is our framework really. So we use this chart a lot. So there's been hundreds of years, thousands of years of human sort of first world. Then we had sort of physical labor. We were assisted by steam engines, and now we're in this AI assisted era. And the issue here is that this exponential growth, this exponential change, we humans, we struggle to understand it. We think in linear fashion. Everything moves at 5% a year, 10% a year. Whereas, and also as things start to change exponentially, wherever we are, we hear this a lot from people, is that, well, the tech today can't do this and they can't do that. And then, these presentations that we share with you, we update these every couple of weeks because it's changed. So wherever you are on an exponential curve, don't expect the world to continue in a linear fashion from there. It will continue to be exponential. And in this sort of 2 to 5 year period, you're going to see cognitive labor, knowledge work is going to be automated, replaced by using large language models. And further out, 5, 10 years, or it's happening quite quickly, you'll start to see, physical labor, embodied AI, robots beginning to sort of, appear everywhere. So the key here is to get on board and start to understand this change, because what you're going to see, and go to the next slide, Alok, is you're going to see more and more news, right? You're going to see the odd news story here. You saw Klarna, you've seen companies that are, they're avoiding hiring people, or in some cases, they are sort of taking people out of the business. But you're going to see more and more of these news stories. It's looking like a snowball. And as you hear more and more about them over the next couple of years, beware that this change happened very, very quickly, and you want to be part of that news, not just people reading it. So you see here that we have some information here about the jobs market. So this is not just about admin jobs, simple jobs. It's cognitive labor, knowledge workers. If someone's working for you or earning 400 grand a year, they've got a huge bullseye on their back. So the world's going to change very, very quickly, and we're just seeing the start of it.
Exactly. And the whole point is that you want to take your business from kind of like a linear business, which is pretty much fully manual, into an AI assisted business where you can then benefit from this, because most businesses have a fixed cost structure. So if you think of any industry, like, I don't know, like a restaurant, or like a professional services accountancy firm, or like a clinic, a medical practice, whatever, they tend to have like fixed costs. And then as they add into a group, for example, they have more and more units of those. They then have like a central head office and different things, and the costs grow linear. But now you have the opportunity to actually create a whole new cost structure. And by becoming AI assisted and showing you how to integrate agents, and we'll talk about that, you can start to increase revenue and even decrease your costs, because by adding a whole new team, that's where AI, where it's able to, outperform humans in, text, images, numbers, audio, and video, can really help you unlock that new thing. So the key thing here is like, you have to get from the kind of track that you're on, which is the linear manual track, onto the AI assisted track. And then as the technology improves, you benefit as well, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, I think one thing here we hear a lot, and being an ex-banker, I've done this myself, is that in our sector you expect an EBITDA margin of this or that, which is fine. But we're talking about companies, work with some companies that are roll-ups and consolidators, and we're saying, look, you might think your EBITDA margin is going to be, I think, 15, 20%, whatever it is. If you add 2 points to that, it's going to fall straight through to the bottom. So by increasing and boosting your growth potential and reducing your costs and optimizing your costs, what you're creating is more margin, more profit. And if you're looking to exit your business down the line, that's wealth creation, and ideally a higher exit multiple.
Exactly. So what you need to start thinking about is like, currently with your current team and your current business, you do things a certain way. Your team work 9 to 5. They do, answer the emails 9 to 5. They do everything like this. But then what about evenings, weekends, and different things? So what you want to start thinking about is like, in order to like start understanding where your opportunities can be, you want to think about where you can grow sales demand, or where you can, improve cost structure or capacity. So you want to start thinking about questions like, what could AI agents do to drive the growth of new customers? And we'll show some examples. How could they help create a differentiated proposition for my customers so it's more interactive and better and smoother and faster? And what could they do to increase sales from past or current customers? That's like one area for sales demand. And then for operational capacity, how could they help your team be more productive? Let's say a junior team member, how can they get up to speed quickly? What could AI do that isn't being done? See, that's one of the big opportunities, advantages. And what could AI agents take over, automate entirely? So this is almost like a framework of questions that can help you start to identify some use cases with ROI as well, basically. Cool. And so what you want to do is you want to start thinking about things in a framework, essentially, right? So the journey to AI transformation is step by step. It doesn't happen all at once. And basically what you want to do is you want to like optimize the kind of current systems. So this would be like, let's look at here, for example. Here, this is a framework where you can look at like getting the team trained so they can start to understand the different like areas of opportunity. They become certified and competent with the main business tools, AI systems in your business. And then this is where they start to use it. So that's where you can start to see benefits of like, more productivity, more accuracy. And then this is where you start to augment your team with the AI agents, doing different parts of the role, and we'll show how that can work. And then you go even further where you've got, internal facing unique tools. So a junior team member can be as expert and ask the right questions as a more senior one, and even like unique customer facing tools that can do new things. So this is like the levels. So people shouldn't go all at once. They need to think in step by step, but it's nice to have a framework, right, Piers?
Yeah, I think what I say about this is that what we found is that a lot of organizations they don't really innovate as such. They don't have an innovation budget. They don't have people who can run, project managers, or people that have the resource or the time or the money essentially to run these kind of projects. So you've got to think in a slightly different mindset. And what we find with the clients where this really works is it is often about mindset. So optimize really is kind of do what you're currently doing, but better, more efficiently, be more productive. Innovate is where you're using this technology to create an unfair, we call it, competitive advantage. Because once everyone's got AI or AI has been embedded into all these SaaS solutions we're all using, it's like spell check, everybody's got it. So you
Correct.
need to start thinking about, you need to try and find some resource, some time within the organization, form a working group to look at artificial intelligence and how you can use it to improve your business, boost revenues, optimize costs. And that may require some thought about, well, what is that resource, and include that cost in your ROI, and to calculate what's the benefit of actually transforming your business.
Exactly. And just to be really simple about it, it's about creating your own unique tools and solutions and agents that do things better, tuned to your industry and your organization that your competitors don't have access to, basically, isn't
Yeah,
it? Right.
software as a service. I'll keep saying this. We're going to talk technology quite soon. It'll write software for you, whatever you want. So this is about automating your business and operating the business in the way that you want to run it, not in the way some manual or some software as a service software application is telling you to.
Exactly. So there's really kind of two things that you need to look at, right? It's augmenting your team, and it's also augmenting processes. So there's two different bits. So let's look at that, for example. So augmenting your team. So there's been some very nice studies from like, Boston Consulting Group and other places where, employees using AI were able to do things 25% faster and 40% higher quality. And this was with like relatively standard AI without like much tuning. So by having things which are more tuned to your use cases and more specialized, your team can definitely do that. And if you think about where the repeated workflows come in four categories, which I'm going to show you later on, you can really start to see where those opportunities could be.
Yeah, and this research was consultants, and we've got slides here if you can't see them. Well, quite a lot of words on them. It's all in the white paper. But they were 12% more tasks were completed, 25% more quickly, and 40% higher quality. So if you compound all of that, that
Yeah.
impact on what their output, what they were doing, is enormous.
So that's like using AI like ChatGPT or Claude or something like this. But then this is where you can start to get even further ahead. So if your team had, for example, your own tools for real-time guidance or contextual knowledge delivery, that's where they can do things faster. So for example, for some of our clients, we build AI-powered training tools for rapid upskilling and onboarding. So for example, when they're in a consultation with a client, it's recording everything, but also prompting them what questions to ask. And it's also scoring that for them automatically. And they can even role play with pretend customers in that kind of system. So that means that a junior team member or a smart person could get up to speed very quickly. And the other thing, contextual knowledge delivery, having your own knowledge bases tuned with all your expertise and the right templates and different things, they can answer very quickly. So this is an example of how you could take someone's training and onboarding period and just shrink it, basically, isn't it, right, Piers?
Yeah.
Cool. The next bit when you're talking about is like augmenting your processes. So here, if we're thinking about like most processes in a business are no AI, you might be looking at some which are AI assisted. Let's say they're using Copilot or something like that, for example. But what you want to start looking at is what could be AI driven. And so if you see the screen, basically, you want to think about each role as a collection of goals, and each goal has different tasks. Now, AI agents can complete different tasks and goals. So then you could then reorganize and streamline different roles. So then the AI can take over some of those different bits. So let's look at an example of that, basically, right? So imagine customer reactivation. How many businesses, it could be, selling roofs, you could be selling bathrooms, you could be selling dental implants, you could be selling plastic surgery. It doesn't matter. It could even be, like new phone systems or new IT systems. There's a lot of people that opt in over the years, but maybe you haven't called them all, or maybe it's been a while since your team called them. So how could AI actually reactivate people for you? So we can show an example of where, an AI was able to do that. So this is an example where AI was actually calling people and that had inquired some time ago to see if they were still interested in doing their roof.
Hi there, I'm Rachel from. How are you?
All right, thanks.
You previously inquired about our flat roofing services at a show. Could you confirm your name?
Yeah, Richard.
Hi Richard, great to talk with you. I'm following up to see if you are still interested in discussing flat roofing solutions for your property. Do you have a few minutes to chat?
I don't. I'm in the middle of something at the moment, but if you can call me either later today, that would be all right, or Monday morning.
Absolutely, I can call you later today or on Monday morning. This way we can discuss flat roofing solutions for your property. Looking forward to speaking with you then.
So this call was on a Saturday morning, right? And we find that like AI agents are very good at calling in, mornings and weekends and evenings, and they can reach more people. So as an example here, it was able to like call a whole load of people, find out the details, and then the sales team get perfect updates about who's waiting for planning permission, who needs different things, and who needs to be followed up at what time, basically. So these are tasks that your team are not doing. So thinking about what could be done by AI agents that can help you grow, that's a good question to ask.
Yeah, 2 points on that. One is all this information you have in these conversations is captured forever, and you can use it in the future. So you may capture things about what they do, what they like, or their preferences that you can extract. Before, unstructured information conversations can't do anything with. Now it's there forever, and this is really powerful. So capturing everything, we also record everything, is actually really quite important. And phone calls are going to be how we interact with technology down the line. Well, so voice generally.
And just to give you some kind of context, like we've run successful call campaigns for B2B, B2C, outbound prospecting, like inbound calls. It doesn't matter. Like there's so many opportunities within there. So now let's go into the next idea, the AI operating system, basically, right? So we know that we need to like leverage something, but what is that? So there's three parts to this, right? There's your augmented team. So that's having the right mindset, the right training, the right skills to be able to like do things better, and even having their own custom tools. There's intelligent automation for systems and processes, so it can be monitoring different email inboxes or different documents or different things like this, and AI agents doing work that the team don't have time to do or requires huge volume. For example, like calling 5,000 places to find out some different details about the name of a manager at a place, for example. You can start to put together quite unique teams to address opportunities in your market.
But the key point there is this is the human machine partnership, right? Going back to the goals and the goals, the jobs, a role, goals, tasks. Typically, there's going to be this human machine partnership. There's some things we have, we'll come on to it, embedded AI agents that sit in the background, maybe crunching data and
You got my next slide. So,
right? Yeah, but there's always typically going to be a human in the loop, but there's not fully autonomous yet. But go on to the next one. Yeah.
Exactly. So the thing is, the way you want to think about it is like right now you've got, John, Phil, Sanjeev, Rahul, different team members. But what you want to think about is adding in agents. And really there's two types of agent, two classes we call them. There's what we call interactive agents and embedded agents. So interactive agents classically would be in the customer experience or customer interactive way, but it can also be with your team. And embedded agents would typically be in your operations, and it would be doing different things. So just to give an example, interactive agents could be phoning people, doing conversations, calls, emails, meetings, even creating different media, audio, video, images. And then on the embedded agents, you've got data analysis and processing, and also document analysis and processing, and also creation. So let's look at it in a bit more detail. By adding in different agents across different areas of your business, your team can be more productive and more interactive than other businesses. And this is where in the AI operating system and the graph we were showing you, you can start to have like a faster, more sophisticated customer experience. Because if you're able to get more insights than your competitors, you can sell better and recommend much better options, essentially, isn't it, Piers?
Also, it's the response time, isn't it? If someone touches your website or calls you or pops into your shop, whatever, and you capture some information, the speed at which you can react to them and provide them with value is going to make sure you win that customer rather than the competition. And this allows you to have very, very quick reaction times in ways that humans can't. Extract information, assimilate it, write a document, put it into a branded proposal, and send it out. You can do that in seconds, whereas humans might take several days.
Exactly, the AI can do that immediately. So this is an area that I want people to think about, right? If you're trying to map, where would be the areas for your AI operating system in your business, there's kind of like four areas. There's data, documents, conversation, and media. So let's start from left to right, right? For example, data. So it could be your SQL database, could be maps, could be like, target locations, research, people sentiment. And from that, the AI can help you discover to be better decision making. It can also help you act on it, for example. So we've built embedded AI agents for specific healthcare businesses where it detects high value customers with a specific prescription and it's able to then help them message and offer specific services to those people. Or in other areas, it could be where some people have got lots of shops or physical locations, they can ask simple questions in English, and the AI will actually uncover those insights based on different stores and different areas and things like this. And then for other people, they want to target a particular type of business. We've had AIs that have actually gone through Google Maps, grabbed all the people from it, then started calling people to find out the names of the managers and different details for that so they can have a unique data set. So data can become one of your advantage layers, basically.
And just on that, Alex, it's worth mentioning that when you're talking about artificial intelligence, you always can have a conversation about where is your data. So whether it can be in different places, that's kind of fine. You can manage that. You haven't going to an expensive data warehouse project. You can still extract the data. But the key thing is record everything because you can use it in the future, but have access to it. What you don't want are these black box software as a service solutions with your data in there, some kind of database that you can't access. That's critical.
Exactly. And then the other bit is like documents. So for example, so imagine like PDFs, spreadsheets, presentations. You might want to, have automated document processing. So let's say you've got like very long documents which came from a particular supplier, and you want to extract and summarize the key insights according to a particular way. So you could have an agent which is almost like a QA agent, which is looking at the document or the spec sheet or something, and it's summarized in a particular way that you want it, and it does it automatically for all the documents that come in. Or it could be enhanced reporting based on like data that's coming through spreadsheets or documents or Word documents. Again, you can visualize those insights. And then content creation, you might want to like have automated reports and presentations which are created based on different meetings or different tools or different insights from customers. So if a customer is like, okay, how is my project going, and the AI's got access to all the emails, all the phone calls, or all the internal systems and notes, it could create a presentation very quickly for somebody in that sort of situation.
And that summarization capability, it's like a time machine, literally. I mean, if you haven't used it before, or you haven't used it effectively, or you've tried and sort of given up on it, being able to summarize documents, extract information, pick out what you need to know, and react to it is like it's like a time machine. It saves you time and makes you more productive.
Exactly. And then the knowledge base. So for example, if you've got a huge amount of information and you want your team to be able to like answer the right thing at the right time, you can't ask them to look at different manuals or different areas or different things, even in compliance. They could just ask the question, it would show them straight away what there is, and it could even check against what they're putting in to see if it complies or not. So that's just an area within documents. Conversations like calls, emails, meetings, you can scale, engagement and interpretation. So you can have 24/7, 365 customer support, AI call agents to manage inbound calls and inquiries, first level support, create support tickets, analyze, get all the information, because many people inquire on a weekend or an evening when your team are not around, for example. Then you've got scaled outreach, AI agents to reactivate and upsell customers. We showed an example, and that's where you can actually like reach out to a lot of people to kind of like, either from, get more information, reactivate them, and find out their real needs. So you can actually tailor and have a more personalized approach for them. Outbound prospecting, we talked about doing cold calls for targeted outreach or even research. So imagine you want to launch something, you want to get the opinions of, 100 mothers, basically, right? You can have an AI agent that can then do the interview with all these people and you get all those insights from there. And then you've also got like the more kind of like interactive agents, which are helping guide a more junior member with consultations, which can give them real-time insights, what to ask, how the person's responding, what their emotions are, and what guides there are, and even like phone analysis, for example, to screen calls to identify lost opportunities. So imagine you got 1,000 calls a month, and we can spot 10 calls which had people interested in buying a high-value solution, but they didn't go ahead. You could then see those people straight away and follow up with them. And at the same time, also, if you have compliance, for example, we have to make sure the phone calls are done a particular way. The AI agent can manage all of those different bits as well. So conversations and across phone calls, emails, and meetings is a big area as well.
And I think this is the most exciting part, I think, because that unstructured information, the way we're going to get used to talking to technology is record everything, keep saying that, and the color that you can extract and gather about your customers, your prospects, by having conversations. So why send out a form now to have a survey? Just call them. You can even say it's an AI. I'm calling from so and so for a response to the service or whatever you sent them, and have a conversation with them. And then you can take the information you want, like first name, last name, email, and put it into your CRM. But quite often CRMs, current ones at least, they're not designed to deal with these kind of conversations and this information. So you need a layer above that, which is what an AI agent can do, what we can help you with, to hold that data and be able to extract that information when you need it.
Exactly, it keeps its whole memory and all the different elements of what was discussed previous times. What we find many people is they start with an AI agent that will do overflow phone calls. So if someone can't get hold of a team member, it will then answer the phone. So that's just an example of how you can augment your existing team. Then media, like for example, be able to create unique high quality audio, video, and image content. So we've got some clients where the ability to create unique designs or unique almost like images which help clients emotionally connect to it, that can be a real differentiated advantage if all your other competitors are just talking in the abstract and you can show them specific stuff. Then there's media analysis where you can get extra, valuable insights from media files, trends, sentiment, and tone. So you can have like different research going on, automated design and storytelling. So there's really significant areas, isn't it, Piers, right, where you can like unlock your creativity here to create new.
People, it's what you hear a lot about, content creation, text to image, text to video now. But very, very soon, if you want to have, I mean, think of this use case. So a customer's got a problem and you want to create on the fly a cartoon how-to video of how to solve their specific problem. Can't quite do it yet, but that's coming.
Or a manual specifically to solve the issue that they're having, right? So imagine, for example, rather than asking them to look at the whole manual, it would only provide a section branded for that person and sent by WhatsApp as an example, right? So the thing is, the way you want to think about it is like over time, you can sort of chaining different agents together. So for example, you might have, let's say in recruitment where, a candidate applies by email and then the interactive agent maybe asks some questions or, has different discussion with them to make sure it's got additional context with them. And then, that's then passed to a data analysis agent, which is then analyzing all the content from that to analyze their experience. Maybe it visits their LinkedIn profile, maybe it grabs additional information from there. And then what it could then do is it can compare that against the job description and the needs and create a report and recommendations in a standard way, in a standard scoring. So then one of your team members can then review that. And then obviously after the kind of like initial interview and different details, the interactive agent could potentially like send the results or outcome to the next person. So this means you could screen a lot more people in a much more meaningful way in very interesting ways, basically. That's just an example, but there's many ways you can chain them together.
Yeah, there's quite a few things just in HR generally. HR is quite process driven, document based. A lot of HR process and workflows can be automated.
Exactly. Even like onboarding for new clients or anything like this. So let's look at an example of an interactive agent where it could be, managing phone calls, WhatsApp, and images as well. So how can AI help with customer support? Let's have a little look.
Hello, welcome to Greenhaven Garden Centre. May I have your name, please?
Yep, it's Michael.
Hi, Michael. How can I assist you with your garden today? Could you please describe the issue you are experiencing?
Yep, so I've got a bamboo plant and there's some issue with the stem.
Thanks for letting me know, Michael. Could you describe in more detail what you're observing with the bamboo plant stem?
Yeah,
for example, is it
like
discoloured, damaged?
There's something on it. I'm not sure what it is.
Thanks for the information, Michael. To help you better, I'd like to send you a WhatsApp message so you can share an image of the issue. Will that be all right?
That would be perfect. Thank you.
Give me a moment. I've sent the message. Once you've shared the image, please confirm back here.
Okay, I got the message. I'm just sending it back to you now.
Great, Michael. I'll be waiting for your image.
Okay, just sent it.
Let me know once it's sent. Hold on a sec. Thanks for waiting, Michael. Here's what I found. Plant identification. Your plant is a bamboo orchid Arundina graminifolia, which is recognized by its slender stems and green leaves. Image analysis, there appears to be a cluster of debris or possibly insect eggs at the junction of a leaf.
Okay.
Of a leaf in the stream.
Is there
This
any
typically indicates
products?
a pest.
Are there any products you could recommend that you could help me with?
Yes, we have both insecticide soap and neem oil available in our store.
Okay, great.
You
I'd like to
can
go
pick
and
them up.
collect. So you can see that it's able to like analyze it and also recommend different products. So that's one example of how it can be multimodal at the same time as well. Then you can have embedded agents, for example, which we monitoring lots of phone calls that we've referred to this before. And what it can then do is it can help you identify new customers that you could almost leverage from your marketing without any additional spend, because it tells you who didn't book an appointment, what the value of the call was, and all the different areas from there, basically, isn't it? So these things together start creating what we call that AI operating system, Piers, isn't it? And this starts getting exciting when you put it in M&A, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is so my background is I'm a corporate finance lawyer, but I was in M&A at Credit Suisse for quite a few years. And the beauty of M&A, it's all about synergy, really. So what you're trying to do is buy something, and you're trying to add value, you're trying to make 2 and 2 equal 5, ideally. And often the synergy is in taking costs out, duplicated costs. Maybe you can sell more to cross-sell to customers. But if you create an AI OS, as we call it, operating system, operational system, whatever you want to call it, it means that you've created this optimized sort of operating model. And when you acquire a company, you can take your model and almost think of it as like installing it into the target. And that means you're then going to very quickly optimize their cost base and boost their revenues and be able to engage with those customers in new ways. All that means is that you're creating more margin, more value. You can service your debt better because you've got more cash flow, and hopefully a higher exit multiple, and it creates value.
Exactly. And just in a kind of a specific area, a lot of the head office functions, Piers, isn't it, right? Like rather than setting up like, a full call center with like many different agents, you could have a core call center and AI agents supporting and supplementing, and same for like compliance and audit and different things like that, right?
Yeah, there's some cases where you'll be able to look at a target and you'll be able to see, you can, I mean, often, sadly, sometimes this is people, okay, but you can take out costs which you couldn't do before, and in some cases they can be material. And when you're dropping, we've got some companies, our clients got 400 million in revenue. When we're shifting the dial by 2 points on their margin, you're talking about a huge amount of cash flow and value creation. So, don't think about it as just about but if you're an M&A, you're a roll-up, you're a consolidator, think about creating a system, a platform you can then basically displace the one that's in your targets and create far more value. And what that means is create more value, yes, but also at a competitive bid, you can perhaps pay a little bit more to make sure you win it.
Exactly. That's where you can integrate and automate, unlock synergies, maximize revenue and cash flow, and drive value creation. And I think really there's going to be almost like a new consolidation wave that's going to happen, isn't it? Right, where the opportunity is going to be to take all of the kind of like manual analog businesses and almost like put the AI operating system into it as well, isn't it?
Yeah, risk is a big one. So when you acquire companies, as if you've ever done it, huge amount of risk. So question, how do you minimize that risk? The part is the contract, the process, the due diligence, all that good stuff, the management team, how you incentivize them. But in terms of automation means that you are reducing the risk because now it's automated. There aren't as many humans in the loop, and it's cheaper, it's faster, it's more productive. It's a huge opportunity.
Exactly. So we've talked about those two different areas. We talked about the transformation framework. We talked about the AI operating system. So let's talk about creating an AI advantage. So what could you do that your competitors can't do? And what could you do to almost like step away? So really kind of we see that in the kind of like three categories. As AI advantage could be creating some kind of innovative customer experience in your sector, creating some unique value proposition, or even going after a whole new market, which you can now do. So kind of giving some examples, innovative customer experience could be for any kind of planning or designing function. You could use AI to do that, and we'll show that. Unique value proposition could be, you could create whole new models of service and subscriptions, and whole new markets can mean like because you've got your cost to service might be very low now, you can go after like what was non-profitable customers before, basically. So innovative customer experiences can be, as an example, AI estimation tools. So just an example where, interior design company wants to help people see what the interior could look like, or a new product or a new furniture or something like this. Could even be simulations. So for example, in plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery, or in different areas, take a photo of like what's going on in your room right now and what your new bathroom or kitchen or what your new, nose could look like and different things like that. And then you've also got, voice and vision enabled services. So it could be, having a whole new way of support for smart home installations or for business support or for training and for tools, many, many different areas, basically, right? And then the whole other areas is unique value propositions where, you've got gym membership, and it also now includes an AI nutrition coach, for example, where it has meal analysis and photos taken. It tells you what's going on in those different areas. Or you've got many different areas, and we don't have the time to go into all of these, basically, but it just kind of gives you some of these different ones. Piers, did you want to touch on any of those?
Well, I think the big one there, if you look at all of those, there's a kind of theme really is personalization. Whether it's B2B or B2C, it's the same. It's that you can now personalize your service or even your goods actually using lots of different technologies with AI. And what you can do is place people almost in the future. They can see themselves with that product or with that service or on that holiday or on that boat or whatever, sitting in whatever car you want to sell them. So you can personalize and make it very real now using this technology. And also this means that any organization, whether you're creatives or not, you don't have to spend a fortune on creatives. Anyone now could be a creative and place their customers into this sort of this world in which you want to sell them.
Exactly. And the more you have an interactive experience where you help people visualize what they were looking for, the further they are in the buying journey with your company versus somebody else, where they're just looking at like some abstract static manual and a brochure which doesn't necessarily relate to what they want, basically, isn't it? And you can also unlock, different things, even in like law, for example, legal services, or you imagine tools which can help your clients and with their HR interviewing and stuff. They could help even spot, potential legal issue opportunities and stuff. So you can start to be quite innovative in how you look at those sorts of things.
And also, it's worth saying, just like in law, and go back to our graph, the exponential curve, we're still in the foothills of it, right?
Yeah.
You're not really seeing much change. And often when I do talks about the algae, you're walking past the lake, tiny bit of algae, it doubles in size every day, enormous lake. 30 days later, you're walking your dog, it's covered half the lake. It's taken 30 days. How much longer to cover the rest of the lake? It's a day, it's 2 days, it's 2 lakes. And that's what is going to happen. So when you look at law, for example, I think it's a key one. This technology will fundamentally change the way lawyers operate. It's just not always crystal clear how yet, but it's coming.
Same for accounting as well, to be honest. Like any kind of like heavy document processing, it fits right in the areas that we talked about before, isn't it? Where it's like client conversations and then documents and data, essentially, isn't it? Right. So the other thing is like data insights. So there's like, we don't have time to go into it, but like we talked about before, you can have AIs which can actually like be set up to unlock new revenue opportunities, discover operational improvements, and develop product or service recommendations based on what people have. Like one of the interesting things we did with our call agent is we were able to help them get very specific training insights from analyzing thousands of calls and the issues from all those calls, basically, isn't it, Piers? Right. So you can start to get
they're kind of unintended consequences, unintended outputs. So we often, we have a program called AI Activate. Okay, when people say, I want to automate this, we go, okay, well, let's do the training and go through the process. And by the end of it, they've gone off that idea. Actually, we should automate something else, this over here, because when you've done it and you've done the work and you've set the agents away, often you have these data, these insights. It's like having, and if you've got a slide on that, like your sort of spectral vision, the night vision.
not on this one, but yeah,
you see things in the dark that people couldn't before. And when you react to those insights and you create products and services based upon them, you're creating a competitive advantage. So the power of this is absolutely enormous. All that we've got customers have got, 3 years of emails or recorded phone calls, utterly useless, couldn't do anything with it. Now you can extract all the information in there. And often what happens is you realize that actually we're not going to spot opportunities, but we're going to massively improve our training.
Yeah. Exactly. And so that's the whole point. Like you can unlock new data insights, then you can start getting through opportunities. So the whole point here is you want to then start thinking about, okay, where are the opportunities in marketing, sales, operations, all these different areas. Don't get drowned in the details. Start looking at where the big wins can be. And like I say, that's where, programs like AI Activate can help, where you can actually help a company transform and kind of understand their different opportunities, essentially, isn't it, Piers?
Yeah.
Cool. And so just as an overview, do you want to just summarize kind of things that you might want to kind of think about and what AI Activate might cover as well, Piers?
Yeah, so AI Activates, so we've got a program. So we have agents and we've got a program, a couple of programs. The main one's AI Activate. And the idea here is that you as an organization, often you need to level up your senior leadership, okay? So not everybody understands the terminology, the jargon, what this technology is. So you might start there. You then may need to train a wider group of your employees, your team. That's so they can understand the technology, the capability, what you can do, kind of stuff we'll be going through in this deck. So they then can opportunity spot and realize what is it that I do or that we do that can be automated. So that's quite key. Then there's policy and governance. So you need to have a framework in which people can work, like a sandbox almost. What can they use? What can't they use? What can the agents do? Where's the data? Where's the data going? Where's it coming from? Are we regulated? Are we satisfying the regulator? So you've got all that work as well. But the big piece of it is you take all of that and you have a working group and we start working together on, okay, let's go and find, I think of a 2x2 matrix of complexity, return on investment. And let's look at the bottom left box really, which is we know the technology is good at this, it works, and it's a clear ROI, a substantial ROI. We then go and deploy an agent or even design an agent for you, deploy it, test the ROI. Once it's proven, typically our clients then want to deploy that agent in production and then move on to the next one. And then it's a continual process of automating and your workflows and processes.
Exactly. And the whole point is that each of these functions, each of these agents can do tasks at a more cost-effective rate than just hiring people would be as well.
So, and sometimes what we found is that it's sometimes borderline because there's sometimes the cost of processing. But what's happening though, that cost is falling all the time. So even if it's borderline today, you think, I don't know, within 6 months or a year, it'll be half the cost again. So the ROI will double.
Exactly. So we covered a lot today, isn't it, Piers? Right? So
that was a big one.
So if you just want to see any questions that you want to cover at all?
Let's have a look, see if we've got any. questions here. Here we go. There's a few. Got a few people in here. Shaz, hello. Doruk, hello. Accountant here. I won't put it on the screen because it's too long. Legal services. Quite a few on legal services. I think on the key question, legal. So, I think what legal services is that there's a huge fear in accuracy. The regulators, obviously, and I think that just like humans, we always talk about agents and humans. So with a human, you onboard them, you train them, you give them the four corners of the box in which they can work. You've got policy, you've got governance, you've got fine tuning, ongoing training. Agents are the same. So that in day one might not be perfect, but you iterate them, improve them over time, and the underlying technology is also improving as well. So eventually, what you're going to find is, I think that the regulators won't want to talk to humans; they're going to want to talk to the AI because they won't be fallible. And you can use models that aren't trained on general internet data. Those things you can do. So legal services, going back to the questions, is going to be fundamentally transformed. It's just working out and getting people comfortable with what's the use case, where do we deploy it first, and what's the ROI.
And there's so many ways that can be done. Like for example, even for the invites for today, some people might have received a video message from me. That was my AI Aalok that was reaching out over LinkedIn and creating a personalized video message for people. So there's so many ways you can apply AI within your business, and it's like really quite exciting to kind of see that as well. So hi Mike, hi Alan, Charlene, and Malcolm. Yeah, do keep in touch, and like I say, we will be there'll be a recording of this as well, and make sure you do download the actual white paper. And if you're looking to learn more or explore it, why not set up a call with us, basically? So we've got like our podcast, which comes out every week. This is this episode, but we've also got many other resources and a whole AI agent lab so people can try different things as well, basically.
And the key thing really is to probably talk to us actually, and then just talk to us about the art of the possible, your business. We've got a huge amount of experience now in terms of insights, in terms of what works in what sectors, and often that conversation just unlocks lots of ideas. Or this and this deck here really, this podcast today really is about go and read the white paper. There's a huge amount of information in there. We're learning all the time, and we'll keep writing these white papers. And they're for you. We want to help you, build AI-assisted organizations.
Brilliant. Listen, thanks a lot.
This will be our podcast. I'm sitting in my van in Lithuania. Aalok, where you're in Lisbon.
Exactly.
The
It's a heat wave. It's a heat wave right now.
Is it?
Yeah, it's been the hottest it's been in ages, essentially.
What's a bit hot here? And we'll see you next week. Usual podcast.